When doing subtraction of three-digit numbers with regrouping, one of the strategies that we use is called place value or valeur de position. It would be the old kind of strategy that we would have used, most of us, when we were coming up through school. It's done a little bit differently just in terms of how we record what we're doing. So the first thing we do is we draw our 323, and we only draw the total. When we do subtraction, we point out to the students that you have a total, a part, and a part. The total would be 323. The first part, the part that you are subtracting, is 145, and then the last part would be what you're left with at the end. So it would be like, for example, if you had 5, you were subtracting 3, you would draw the 5, you would cross off 3, and you would be left with the other part, which is 2. So when we're doing place value, we always start with our units. We have 3 units. We are trying to subtract 5. Since we don't have enough, we have to trade. So what we do is we take a 10 and we trade for 10 ones or 10 units. A lot of the students make the mistake of simply adding on enough units to make 10 altogether. So a lot of them, what they would do is put 7 more to make 10 altogether. So I usually get them to use a separate color so that once they cross off this 10, they remember that they have to represent 10 units. Again, I always tell them whatever they do in their drawing, they must also show in their equation. So they have taken 10, now they're left with 1. They now no longer have 3 units, they have 13, which they show in the equation. When we did this years ago, usually what we did was just put a 1 next to the 3 to show it's 13. I find it's a little easier for them to understand at this stage if they actually cross off the 3 and put now they have 13 units. So we are subtracting 5. We will cross off the 5. And I usually also get them to show how much they've taken away. What they would do then is look at what they have left. They have 8 units left. They'll write the value down at the bottom of their CDU chart. And again, they go to their equation. 13 units minus 5 units is 8 units. We move on next to our tens or our dizaines. We have 1 dizaine. We're trying to subtract 4. It's not enough. So what we will do is we will trade again one of our hundredths for 10 tenths. Now again, we show it in our equation. We no longer have 3 hundredths, we now have 2. We no longer have 110, we actually have 11. So now we can subtract the 4 that we are trying to subtract in the first place, and we would cross off 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'm starting to run out of space here, but we would show that we subtracted 40, and then we look at what's left. And we see that there are 7 tens, which gives us a value of 70. If we go back to our equation, 11 tens minus 4 tens leaves us with 7 tens. We move on then to our hundredths, our centaines. We have 2 hundredths. We are subtracting 1, so I'm going to show that. Moins 100, subtract 100. I now have 1 left, whose value would be 100. Again, when we look at the equation, 2 hundredths minus 100 is 100. Now, the reason we write the values down at the bottom is so that once we have finished doing our calculations in our equation, we can check to see that we've done them correctly by adding the values of each kind of base 10 block. So we take 100 plus 70 plus 8 gives us a total of 178. We see that the differences match up, and we know that we've done our calculation correctly. And that is the place value or valeur de position strategy for doing subtraction with regrouping.